Welcome to the Third Wheel Podcast.
At night.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Darcy.
And we got a very special guest today, the crossover episode part 2. We got our very own Shaps here from the main show joining us.
Crap, I got the times wrong.
Yeah, he walked into the wrong.
There, that one.
All right, so that's it.
You know what? I had a very funny bit and everything, but you know what?
That's enough of that. Thanks a lot. You really screwed the pooch on that.
Legitimately,
Darcy.
I had a thing going.
Poor Pooch.
And you're like, you're like, where's the button?
That was awful. Anytime Darcy...
I'm just depressed now.
Yeah, anytime you touch... It's still going.
Great.
Anytime
It's
you
probably
touch
like
the
a 5-minute
soundboard...
long clip.
Yeah. Anytime you touch the soundboard, you mess it up. Next time it's going to be like, yeah.
I think it still worked. He had the music, the air horn.
You could have let me know.
Yeah, I was confused.
I just wanted the hand clap.
You just like tumbled over
Yeah.
like a drunk person.
All right. Besides that weird production issue that we had, thank you for joining us today,
Oh,
Shaps.
thanks for having
Isn't
me.
that cool?
It's great to be finally
I know.
on.
I know. So Darcy hopped on the main show, and now we got you for today, and I'm excited.
You mean tonight?
Yeah, even though the camera clearly behind me shows sunlight. It's
No,
definitely...
we're just adding that in post. Don't worry.
Yeah, if you can, please. But it's definitely nighttime, guys. All right. But for real, in all seriousness, we got some crazy topics for you today. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
I can be a little unhinged for once. It's gonna
Guys,
be great.
crazy. So
That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So a couple things. I got a really good video I want to shoot, which I hope we can get to by Friday with me and Darcy. But secondly, I don't know what else I was going to say. Oh, I'm reading a book. I'm reading a book on women lowering their standards in dating, written by a woman. Okay, so you can't cry that a man wrote it. Okay,
Was she a man before?
no comment.
Because that'd be
No, I was kidding.
that would be like top tier big brain.
No, it's a woman.
And
Woman
then she
always
goes back
a woman.
to being a man.
Yeah, she converted just for the book.
That's genius.
That way it wouldn't be misogynistic.
I know. No, it's called "Marry Him" by Lori Gottlieb. The case for settling for Mr. Good Enough. Okay. She argues that women often have unrealistic expectations, and that she talks to doctors, psychiatrists. She sits down with women in her 20s and women later in their years, in their 30s, and just kind of talks about like what changed for them, why they're still single, because a lot of them never found Mr. Perfect. So I think it's a very instructional novel that I'm reading through and taking notes on. Once we have enough for an episode, we'll definitely get started on it. So
yeah.
I'm excited. I'll try to have some done by Friday.
That's a good like summary. Probably is I would like to hear a guy's perspective as well.
Yeah,
You know?
there's guys in there too.
That's
so
cool.
she talks to everybody. And she found that guys are very simple. They're like, hey, just their standards are way lower. It points out some really good stuff, so I'm excited to talk about it. But that won't be, unfortunately, today.
Yeah.
But we will get to it, and I'm excited. I'm trucking through the book, and then haven't started Harry Potter yet, but we're getting there. So, At Night, episode 20. I'm not sure because I lost track.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
I'll take a guess. 25.
Actually, I think it's 24. Now that I just looked today.
So close.
All right. I'm excited. Darcy, what do you have on the agenda for today?
Yeah, so do we want to do the post first or the thing that came up for Texas?
Actually, let's do the thing that came up for Texas, and then we
Okay.
got to fill in Shaps. He's seen a few episodes of this, but let's fill him in later on
Perfect.
what we're doing. So,
All right. So we need to censor the word, right?
corn.
Okay.
All right.
Corn Club.
No, Cornhub's fine.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys, a lot of you people who watched, or not watched, I'm sorry. A lot of people who tried to log into Cornhub were met with a message and a lot of disappointment, let me tell you. Okay. Not too long ago, Texas passed legislature, maybe it was federal, I don't know, but Texas for sure passed legislature that mandates that corn websites mandate you to sign in and verify your age. You got to use an email, you have to use a password, and you got to put in your age. That's a lot harder for kids to get into.
Right.
And that's why they
you
did
have
it.
to verify it every single time. Like
Yeah.
it's not like a
Yeah, it's
one
a lot
time.
less convenient.
Right. It doesn't just recognize your device and be like, oh, good to go.
So Cornhub, the big babies that they are, decided that instead of bowing down to Texas legislature, they decided to pull down the website for
Yeah.
Texans.
I'm so shocked by that because I feel like,
It's a huge viewer base just
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
right.
a big
'cause
chunk.
Texas is massive.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it works out in our favor. I'm glad. So now it's like that's a one less market for people to get into, and people that are struggling with it, they have a less of an avenue to get to it, which is great, right? There's a lot of studies done on how corn affects people, right, and how it affects their sex drive, how it lowers their testosterone, it hinders your marriage. There's a lot of studies on that. And so a major site like this, now there's other ones that will comply, but people, I mean, that's the most known one, honestly. Like it's iconic,
one,
the symbol, the colors.
Did you ever see, I forget what the guy's name is that created it. Do you know off the top of your head?
No.
Oh,
No clue.
okay. But the like main person.
I wouldn't know, Darcy.
Yeah. Okay. None of us would know.
But
Because even then, even if I partook in such an activity, why would I look up the founder? I wonder who started this.
well, there was like a documentary or something about it because the corn industry has a lot of like trafficked victims.
Yeah.
And so it was covering like just how big of a like thing that is. And they were interviewing some of the people in charge of Cornhub. And the dude actually can no longer even have any sort of sexual interaction without corn playing. Like it is literally desensitized him so much that he cannot possibly like take part in unless that's playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
I have a shirt actually. A friend got a shirt back when it was like a big push to take down that website. It says Trafficking Hub.
Yeah.
Which that was when it was a big reveal happened, and they took down like half their videos because it was all related to trafficking. It's like, oh boy,
There is a big
not
law.
cute anymore, is it?
Right.
There's a big law not that long ago that was required anyone who uploads to it to have the blue check mark verification, like how Twitter has the blue check mark that now people have to pay
Yeah,
for.
because it used to be that anyone and everyone could upload.
Can't do that no more.
Yeah.
Can't do that no more.
When was that? Because I feel like I know people that have uploaded not that long ago.
A couple of years ago. I want to
Okay.
say at least two.
Okay.
At least. So
Yeah, because I was about to say, I believe in 2020, I remember there was a couple of people that I knew that were uploading videos to it.
So, good on Texas for getting that done. I think
Yeah.
that's a major win. Like I said, not all sites are going to comply, but those are the shady ones to begin with.
Right.
And two, I don't know. I think Cornhub could have worked around it. They could have just complied, and they wouldn't have lost so much money. But I guess they thought the loss to win ratio was worth it.
I think they're wanting.
Well, I have their statement pulled up as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You can't get that on my phone. Why don't you read that to us?
Okay. So I'll actually
Are you
tell
so
my
excited?
story about okay. So the only way I was able to get the statement was by searching it and clicking on the website. Now you informed me that it was down, and so you're like, check it out. Well, I'm at work, and I work with teens, so I was like,
Let me wait a minute.
just in case it does go through for me for whatever reason, I'm gonna wait to check this out until I'm on like a bathroom break or something. And so I Googled it, I clicked on it, and sure enough, this is what popped up.
I'm not
it's-
putting that in the episode.
Just blur it.
Oh, yeah. Whoopsies.
All the work we did, I said corn for no reason. You killed it.
My bad.
Our channel dies.
Yeah.
It's all Darcy's fault.
It would be.
It's kind of a long statement, but anyways,
I can summarize. I mean, if you've read it already, have you read it already?
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Okay.
You got this.
Dear user, as you may know, your elected officials in Texas are requiring us to verify your age before allowing you access to our website. Not only does this impinge on the rights of adults to access protected speech, it fails strict scrutiny by employing the least effective and yet also most restrictive means of accomplishing Texas's state purpose of allegedly protecting minors. What do we think so far?
Oh, they're full of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, any kid could hop in and not log in
Right.
or nothing and just do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to a degree, it's on parents to be paying attention, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of software you can put on computers, phones that block those sites, that all that kind of
The
stuff.
kids are smart.
And
They'll
I'll
find a
confess,
way.
I'll confess something to y'all. I have such software on my stuff because I would like to, I want to break a bad habit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to watch. So, and sometimes it gets hard to not watch. But now it's on my phones and computers to where I can't. And that's that's what I had to do to get around it because I can't trust myself. So, and then I got someone that's monitoring my stuff for me. So, anyway. But now, even if that stuff wasn't there, I'd have to resort to shadier means to find it.
You'd have to go to the dark web.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I know. I think it's funny how they say allegedly protecting minors,
They're full of
as
crap.
if that's not what they're doing. They're probably just salty because they know a majority of their viewers are minors,
right?
Yeah.
And so now they're just making it seem like Texas is this big bad wolf that blew down the little piggy's house.
Yeah, they're trying to really be the little guy here when
Mm-hmm.
honestly they are so like. It's a criminal company, if you really get down to it. Like, they're harboring criminals.
They make... Someone told me it's a multi-billion-dollar a year industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he put in there, the guy I was talking to is a professor, actually. He was addressing the class. He's like, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So somebody's watching something, is what he said.
Right.
Obviously. And that's something most guys struggle with. So, yeah, of course. Like, even just running ads on the free stuff, that's generating money.
Yeah,
so,
and then you can't pull... censorship because they're not censoring it. They're just saying it to verify age.
Just verify age.
It's not blocking it altogether.
And
they're not asking you to upload your social security and credit card number. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And that's so what I think is they're in their feelings, their butt hurt, and they're like, we're taking this. Nobody can have it now in Texas.
Right. Yeah. So, they're like, this goes against your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom
They're just making it easy. They're actually like making it easier for Texas. The whole point. I don't think the Texas government is for them. So they're just making it easier for the other side, just be like, actually, we're not going to show anything at all. It's like, cool,
right?
Like, why?
That's what we wanted.
Why is that hurting us at all?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Now, people that are coming from California to Texas, they might have an incentive to stop just before Texas lines and stop in Oklahoma instead.
Well, okay, if you really want to get technical, you can probably use a VPN,
right?
And to get around.
Okay, so this video is sponsored by NordVPN.
This
is corn out of your state? Well, with NordVPN, you can log in and switch it to China.
But of course, a lot of kids aren't going to know how to do that. So it really is specifically to protect kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would anyone be against that? Right. Oh, well, greedy corporations would. They're worth $1.5 billion or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're not making yourself look good. You're not making yourself look like the little guy. Like,
I agree.
No one's for you except for like people who probably need help.
And it's so funny too because I remember there was this huge thing that wanted to take Cornhub down, and they were like, "Oh, it's impossible. Like, it's too hard to manage." Really? Because they just did it for Texas.
Yeah.
So that was
in a way,
in a way.
In a way. It's still up, but there's 49 other states you're allowed to go to.
Yeah, because I guarantee if it was a national thing, they would find a way to do the age stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They're just doing this to make people upset about it.
Yeah.
In hopes that somebody else comes in during election and
Well, it's been Greg Abbott for a very long time.
Yeah.
At like 6 terms, I think, something crazy, 5. I don't know, and it's gonna be him for a while because he just won.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, he did. Okay.
So okay.
On a sidebar. You might want to check with your IT department if you have one about your search history, if you are on the Wi-Fi.
Cut.
I gotta go do something.
Don't worry, I used incognito.
Yeah.
They can read through that, but sure. If you feel safe, sure.
Bro, the incognito disclaimer says this won't hide your stuff from work.
You see?
Not that I'd know.
Not connected to the Wi-Fi.
Wow.
I wouldn't know anything about that though. I'm just what a friend told me.
So they go on to say, while safety and compliance are at the forefront of our mission, providing identification every time you want to visit an adult platform is not an effective solution for protecting users online, and in fact will put minors and your privacy at risk.
How? What? Literally tell me how.
Right.
So age verification puts minors at risk?
Yeah, apparently.
Huh. I think they're right.
Yeah.
We need to bring it back.
Well, it's like they've done nothing for people to provide safety for like people on, that website,
right.
like the content creators, quote unquote, like they haven't provided a safe environment at all. What they're talking about is just a safe place where you probably won't get a virus, that's why people flock to this website because it's so profound, it's so like mainstream now. And it's like, it's everywhere. But now suddenly like they took a bit hit because it's like, oh my gosh, like suddenly you're like you said, our biggest fan base probably can't access it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
by the
so,
sheer numbers.
I guess this
people.
is their explanation for how it puts privacy at risk.
Do tell.
They said attempting to mandate age verification without any means to enforce at scale gives platforms the choice to comply or not, leaving hundreds of thousands of websites open and accessible. As we've seen in other states, such bills have failed to protect minors by driving users from those few websites which comply to the hundreds and thousands of websites with far fewer safety measures in place which do not comply. Very few sites are able to compare to the robust trust and safety measures we currently have in place. To protect minors and user privacy, any legislation must be enforced against all platforms offering adult content. Unfortunately, the Texas law for age verification is ineffective, haphazard, and I think they meant to say hazardous, maybe, and dangerous.
Okay.
Not only will it not actually protect children, but will also inevitably reduce content creators' ability to post and distribute legal adult content and directly impact their ability to share the artistic messages they want to convey with it. I'm pretty sure the other stuff is just stuff we can leave behind, but
Yeah, let me look this up here.
In other news, you can just pop over to Twitch.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen those things? Twitch? Have you seen a Twitch stream?
yeah.
Those
like-
women are crazy.
It's legitimately like that's become the new Cornhub.
I know. It's insane.
Well, it's
like-
like OnlyFans, you know?
This
yeah,
is like-
in a way.
Kind of.
But this is like live stream. Like this
Like
is
Twitch used to be like, I think OnlyFans used to be something else as well, but like Twitch was just like for the longest time, just kind of like for one particular audience, and then it just turned into exactly what Cornhub was.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
So they made a claim that other states are using anti-corn laws that have failed. So I'm going to look this up. Oh, great. You got to pay to get the full story on this one.
verify your age.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
All right, let's try this one. Mashable. This is called Anti-Porn Laws, a full list state by state. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Imagine you want to watch... Oh, my God, this guy's giving me his opinion in it. Imagine you want to watch some corn, maybe even paid for it. Good for you, in quotes. But before you take... Oh, I'm not saying that. Before you use lube, you have to set up decent lighting in your space, get your driver's license or passport out, take multiple pictures of the document, take selfies of yourself, take a selfie of you with the document clearly visible, upload everything to an age verification system, and stay aroused long enough to... Yeah, once you prove to watch... Okay, this is pretty bad. That's funny, though. I like it. There's a chance that your
He's
state's...
painting the picture for you.
Yeah. But he's using terms I can't read on this.
Yeah.
There's a chance that your state's capital is one of 18 that want to make that the law of the land if they haven't already. All right. Corn has been under attack in the U.S. before, but state legislatures have made tangible progress this year with sometimes bipartisan age verification laws requiring adults to submit sensitive information to access content deemed harmful to minors. Other proposed legislation will require all phones, tablets, and computers be sold with corn-blocking filters unless the purchaser requests the removal, proves they are over the age of 18, and in some states pay a fee. Isn't that crazy? The government wants to tax a fee so you can do that. Don't get me wrong. I support the anti-corn stuff,
Right.
but that is insane. And
Yeah, like that's why the only reason I agree with what they did here is because, again, it's not censorship and it's not putting a tax on it. So it's not like oppressive government.
yeah.
It's literally just protecting children,
Right.
minors.
Yeah.
Like that's the idea behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it was literally like censorship, like we're just completely banning it completely, even though obviously like I don't like that industry at all, I don't agree with it. The other part of me, I'm like the American part. I'm just like, well, like free speech, you know, like if you can't do it to one and then not to the others, you know. So we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on the same page for like, I don't know, we have drugs illegal. You know, like there's no reason that you can't make the corn industry illegal as well.
Yeah.
With like I don't see that affecting people's rights, you know, like there's plenty, you're not allowed to drink and drive, you're not like, you know, because all those are dangerous, but so is corn, especially whenever it's accessible to minors, you know, and even with the age verification, like you said, you can change your VPN.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Well,
I feel like I feel like the big argument and like the argument unfortunately that would win is we want to express ourselves. You're completely stopping us from expressing ourselves, which is a much tougher argument to make. like the artistic field. You know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, that is something that they could win.
It's
other than that's not like a harmful substance that is like proven to be harmful and detriment. Like this is something that it's literally saying you can't do in front of your own camera. And then putting it wherever you want,
This is going to be tough to backtrack on. So we have Republican everything here in Texas, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm sure some other places have some Democratic stuff going on. Dallas is very Democratic, right? But imagine, so this is in law now under Republican. Now imagine the next person, say they're Democrat, they come in and now they're like, oh, I'm going to turn this law off. Well, you're going to piss off all of Texas, like the ones that support this. At least if they support it on paper, they may not support it in real life and in their own rooms, but they can't just like act like they don't support it. So it's going to be really hard.
When was the last Democratic governor though?
I don't know.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
No, but I'm just saying like this law, who's going to backtrack on it ever?
Right.
You know
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's literally you're saying that Cornhub, they're waiting. It's a game they can't win.
Right. Exactly.
That they're trying to play. It's like no, because they're never going to let that up.
Exactly.
Like Abbott's never going to be like, actually, I feel like just turning that off.
Yeah.
Right
Let me turn it back on. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just an old man.
I've been in my wheelchair too long.
Okay, so I know I found out through you. How did you find out?
My coworker.
Okay.
And it was a female.
Because your coworker tried to look it up, or like was it like the same like?
She gets bored and she just watches stuff, and I guess she watched the news and it was on there. So
you started off with she just gets bored and watches
she just
stuff.
starts watching porn in front of me.
Yeah. You walk into her office.
Sorry.
She's not even like partaking in it. She just has her feet up on the desk and she's reading a book. She's using it as white noise.
She's not even hiding it. She's just like, hey, Caleb, want to watch?
I'm good, thanks.
How did you hear about it then, Shaps?
I think just now. Well, let me scroll down a bit because this is kind of interesting. Age verification laws. Louisiana led the way in 2022 with a law requiring any commercial website featuring a substantial amount of content harmful to minors to require age verification for IP addresses in each state. Earlier this year, Mashable's senior editor, Stan Schroeder, explained the concerns and effects of age verification systems. Under the new law, which went into effect this year, if someone under the age of 18 were able to access this content, then parents could sue the site for psychological harm and attorney's fees.
No.
Bruh.
Oh, my gosh.
So, you want to turn that stuff off real quick.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see. However, legislatures seemed displeased that Louisianians were not taking advantage of their bountiful opportunity. According to Stabile, no one has filed the suit. Okay. The lawmakers were concerned basically that parents weren't doing their job. I understand not wanting to do the lawsuit part, okay?
Right.
But at the same time, you got to understand not every parent's going to do what they're supposed to do. And I think that really that's true. So I can understand the pressure on them.
I mean, I'm still there's the whole like blame the parents thing. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like parents should 100% know what their kids are doing, but I still stand by my statement. Once a kid gets to a certain age and they want to see something, they're going to find a way.
They will.
Yeah.
They will absolutely find a way. There's nothing a parent can do besides like locking them up. Even then, like it's just impossible, but what parents could be doing is educating their kids more about subjects like this, maybe. Because I know that is usually like a big, especially in this state, is like a big taboo thing. You don't talk about this at all.
Right.
And then they find it and they can't talk to their parents about it because it's a secret. It's always been a secret.
Yeah.
It's always been a bad thing. So, and again, I'm not a parent, but I'm just saying like, I just know that there's a lot of communication and so much distance between the generations right now. That there needs to be like some gap filling, cross communication.
That's interesting. That's something I should look into for when I have kids, that you can sue them for not making better precautions.
Yeah.
Dude.
My parents could want a lot of money.
Oh, man. I got to call my mom. I wonder if there's a statute of limitations.
Right?
Mom, you remember 10 years ago?
It expires tomorrow.
I got one more part of the article I'd like to read, but go ahead.
Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, like, you were talking about giving your kids, like, the talk and being a little more open with it.
Yeah.
That was, like, what my problem was I didn't get the talk until after I was already, like, in corn addiction.
I never got the talk, actually. So, it messes you up,
Would you like me to give you the talk right now?
No, please. I don't want to hear it.
I want to hear your version of it.
No, I don't.
They're not bees, they're wasps. They're not birds, they're vultures.
When they sting, they don't die after. They keep stinging. They'll sting 3 or 4 times before they fly away.
I'm like,
See, that's why you need to be on camera. You got to have your facial reactions.
Yeah.
Only we saw that.
I don't want to be associated with this.
You are. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So, if you're upset about the age verification laws, Corn users, you're about to be upset because it could get worse. This part, it talks about the mandatory device filter. Okay, and I bet you, since we have a very if Greg Abbott's willing to sign this in, the other one, the age verification, he's gonna do this too. So, mandatory device filters. Utah pioneered another strategy to keep their adult citizens, not just children, from accessing Corn content. Parental control for everyone, HB 72, signed into law by Governor Spencer Cox in 2021, requires all devices manufactured, sold, or activated within Utah to come with what is basically a child filter. An adult would be provided a passcode to deactivate or uninstall the filter after providing ID. Imagine asking the Apple Store guy to give you access to Bang Bus.
Wait, so if the device is developed in Utah, or is it saying that's sold in Utah? Because if they're not developed in America,
It's probably sold in Utah.
Okay, so any device that's sold in Utah has to have one of those.
And I used to work with phones that you test. I'm assuming when you're testing them, you got to install the software.
Yeah.
If it's law. So it's in Utah.
I feel like Apple would bite back really hard on that.
I guess they haven't because they didn't pull their phones out of Utah. So.
Well, is that like in effect?
Yeah,
or is that just
2021. Look.
Wow.
Let's see.
Wild.
Signed into law, Governor Spencer Cox in 2021.
Wow.
Instead of parents controlling their child device access, every adult in Utah would be parented by the site. The strategy here is to put any barrier between a grown adult and sexual content. I shouldn't have to go through a government approval process to reach that content that is legal to me, insists the bill.
So should you not have to provide your ID at a gas station when you're buying liquor? Or not liquor, but alcohol?
Right. And that's the thing is like I'm assuming
adult content. I see what you mean by that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. When I deposit my paper checks, if I ever have one, someone writes me a check, I got to deposit, take a picture of it, turn it around, sign it, take a picture. Taking a picture of your ID is annoying because it doesn't read a lot of the time. So I can understand anytime you got the lotion ready, you got your napkins, whatever, and then please take a picture of your ID real quick.
There's actually a little bit of truth to the very top comment, or like the part of this article where it's like, it's such a in the moment. Like most people, it's like it's an in the moment kind of thing, and then like the more time it takes to get to that moment, usually,
moment's gone.
Yeah, moment's gone, which might be the idea. So very clever, very clever and sneaky. But that is going to get people mad really quickly.
Yeah.
And sometimes primal. So depending on the time. Yikes.
Do I need to age verify a magazine? That's what I want to know. But nobody uses those anymore.
Right.
So, it's such a messy. And here's the thing: I don't mean to alienate. We only mean to alienate anyone who watches that stuff. You can do what you want on your own time, whatever you want.
We're just talking about my convictions.
Our convictions, Jarl's convictions.
Well, here's another thing. New Jersey took Utah's idea one step further in 2022 when Senators Stephen Orojo and Nilsa Cruz Perez and Assembly members Nancy Munoz, Michelle Masticudis, and Parker Space proposed a $20 unlock fee to remove the filter from new devices. It never made it to a vote, but Oklahoma proposed a copycat unlock fee bill this year. Bad ideas seem to spread like wildfire. Luckily, Utah's law only goes into effect when 5 other states pass similar device filter legislation. At least 11 states have recently attempted to pass their own versions. Okay. So, yeah, New Jersey... this would take too much time to unpack, I think. But New Jersey was like, okay, $20 to us to get it unlocked.
Yeah.
That's the part I would have a problem with.
Yeah, right.
I was like, okay, you just want to...
You just want to be able to dip your hand in the pot.
That's exploiting.
Type of thing.
That's just as bad as exploiting.
You're telling me if I crack my phone, I need a new one, I got to pay $20 to unlock the stuff I want. You know what I mean? Like, I get the filter. That's, I get it. That's fine. In my opinion, that's fine. But the $20, you can go F yourself. That ain't happening.
Yeah, that's not protecting anyone. That's
exploitation, right?
Oh, I just want to mostly know where people were at when they heard about this, because I want to hear somebody's story where they didn't know from the news or a friend, and they just logged on, and then they're like,
they're in the moment, come on. Oh.
Yeah, it didn't even give them the option to verify their age.
Yeah, just said, nope, no more in Texas.
And then they take the moment to take the whole moment in, like the whole scene they've made, and they're like, what have I become?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm scared of, to be honest with you, is now anytime I go one state over to go to the casino, that everyone's thinking I'm just taking a trip to go watch something.
Okay, again, there
You know
are
what I
so
mean?
many easier ways to do this.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't think that was the case because there are so many easier ways to bypass this little feature.
That's true.
If you're listening, audience, tell us, where were you whenever you found out about this?
It's not the Trade Center story. It's where were you when this happened?
You may be entitled for compensation.
It was an inside job.
I want to know, where were you? How'd you find out? Was it through a friend, coworker? Did you look it up and find that you couldn't access it? Let us know in the comments
I don't feel
below.
like anyone's a man enough to like. Yeah, it was a friend. It was a friend. It was a friend.
Yeah.
It was a friend. We all knew the same friend.
Let me tell you, I know there's a lot of lawmakers that are really pushing anti-corn laws, but then I forget who it was. I'd have to look it up. But there was one guy who actually, I don't want to say his name if I'm wrong, but I think it was Senator Ted Cruz, and I could be wrong. But it ended up being somebody in his campaign staff who they got caught watching corn. But everyone blamed Ted Cruz, like, it was, you're anti-corn, but you watch it, But I think it ended up it wasn't him. It was somebody else in his staff.
You know, this whole corn situation is a total maze. Friday nights at 9.
Corn maze, ha.
Well, when you were talking about the effects corn has on your body, I thought about how it just comes out in whole kernels.
Ow! I don't remember eating that.
Do you remember the video I tagged you in?
Vaguely.
About the corn.
Vaguely.
It was someone that.
You know what I hate more than anything in the world?
What?
Is censoring words with other words.
Well, we have to.
I don't.
I'm
I
talking
know.
about actual corn here.
I understand. I know
Okay.
you are. I know. I
Like
understand the reason, but I just want it to be known. I hate it more than anything. in my
I
life.
hate it too, but that's how
Yeah.
YouTube is, unfortunately. If we didn't have to, I wouldn't do it.
That's what we should be fighting for.
Yeah.
That's what we should be fighting
Make
for.
corn not taboo.
Sound clip that.
I know, for real. Yeah. Someone's
that
going
on
to take
a-
this out of context.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make corn not taboo.
Yeah.
Make corn
Can we,
legal.
unless we will keep talking about this, talk about something fun?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's talk about bad marriage advice. Yeah.
So,
Snip.
Shaps,
Wait,
I know
Oh, yes.
you are somewhat unfamiliar with what we do here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've watched 2 or 3 episodes, and
I'll
I
tell
think I
you
got
what
the
we
point
do
for the
here,
rest of
boy.
it.
Okay. So basically, I was looking I'm in a bunch of different Facebook groups,
Yep.
and I love them. There's lots of people, different stuff you can do.
Yeah.
And so out of curiosity, I looked to see if there was a Christian marriage group,
Yeah.
just for some good people to like lean on and look up to and just go to get advice about certain things that I'm not quite familiar with, being still pretty early in my marriage. I mean, at this point, we're 3 years in, so I don't know if you'd consider that early still. Some
You know
people
what?
do, some people don't.
I wouldn't have known. I thought it'd be a lot longer than that.
Yeah, no.
Given how your relationship is.
Thank you.
Oh, God. That's beautiful.
So, so I joined this group, and it turned out to be very much so not what I was looking for.
At all.
Where, these are the stereotypical Karen, goes to church
Yeah.
on Sundays, thinks she's better than everybody else,
Yeah.
super religious, just out of touch Christianity that's not even feasible.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of fun to read it and make fun of some of the, like, I guess, stereotypical Christian reactions to things.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Especially being like, I feel like we're all chill, laid back Christians, so it makes it a little more fun to.
I hate calling
kinda-
myself one.
Yeah,
For real. It's a bad.
because of the rock music,
The metal music.
metal music. Okay.
No, legitimately, I actually I'm not anti-faith by any means, but I actually don't like the title
Right.
because it's just like exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's been dragged through the mud.
Yes.
It's a darn
by
shame.
so many people. I'm just like, most people cringe when they hear that.
Yeah.
So now I'm part of the joke now. I'm
Yeah.
just like, it's so
People hear
cringy.
Christian, they run across the room because they're like,
Exactly.
"Stop trying to convert me," and I'm
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
"Oh, I wasn't trying to. He
Yeah.
just asked."
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, continue.
Okay.
I'm very interested.
So this one doesn't have any comments, but it is a post, and I found it very funny. So someone said, "Hi, I earn $240,000 a year, and my wife earns $440,000.
Oh my gosh.
Since she started having more money than me, she doesn't have a single respect for me. She doesn't even do house chores anymore. She comes only at night and all sort of bad behavior. Please, any advice on it? And the second screenshot is, you may not like this, but I'll say it. As more men keep supporting their wives to be better than them, the more we'll be seeing broken homes. Always keep 5 steps ahead of your wife.
Broken
When a woman
grammar, too.
feels she's bigger than you, she'll look up to a man that's bigger than her. End.
Wow. Because, wow.
I got a solution.
Why can't women just control themselves? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, here's my solution. Call me crazy.
Yeah.
Hire a maid.
Right.
I just saved your marriage.
You know what? You know what? I'll do you one better. How about like, just, dude, like,
Just do the house chores. If I'm making twice as much as you,
there's something
and I'm,
mentally wrong with this man.
Yeah, if-
like legitimately putting like a Band-Aid on it. No, this dude needs to be like, he needs to be alone for a while.
Yeah.
He actually needs to be real. Like, he needs to move out separate for a while.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah.
No,
Like
that's
he's-
crazy.
Yeah.
No.
So,
Don't listen to him, guy.
and especially because like Paul, dude, if I was making that kind of money, oh my god,
Why are you complaining?
He would cook for me 3 times a day.
Uh-huh.
He'd rub my feet when I got home if I liked,
Yeah.
you know.
I'd
my
love to
feet
quit
being
working.
touched.
I'd love to
Yeah,
quit working.
you know, he was like, I'll be a stay-at-home
Well-
husband. Like he would have no problems with it. He would love it.
They're
Yeah.
basically making how much? Yeah, they're almost making $750,000 a year.
That's what I'm saying.
Which means why? Yeah, you're exactly right.
Right.
Why haven't they hired help?
Yeah.
like legitimately, that's what people do when they're
It's
super
cheap.
rich.
Yeah.
I'm like they're swimming in money.
Yeah.
So why is this even an issue?
I have to when I get married, guys. I gotta hire a maid, okay, once a week because I'm lazy,
Right.
Okay, and it drives it's gonna drive my fiance crazy, okay, and I'm okay with that. But as a middle class man, barely middle class, like I'm barely average height, right? Barely. Are you
barely
okay?
past the middle
Yeah,
class.
yeah. I'm barely middle class, and I will work extra to hire a maid so that I don't drive her crazy with my
Right.
laziness. And if that drives you crazy that bad, then do what Darcy said. Pick it up yourself.
Right.
Well, like
Okay.
this guy needs to be on a ranch somewhere. Like he needs to go to the Dr. Phil
Oh no,
PETA ranch for like
Let's not.
6
We were
months.
just talking about
Let's
this
not.
a couple
Let's
weeks
not open that can of worms.
and then he can say, "Oh yeah, she should pick up some things every around here."
Yeah. Well, what's up? What's wrong with the guy picking something up every now and then? To be honest
Right.
with you?
And like
I just think that like
Depending on their house, I know that it can be a lot. I get that. But how hard is it to pick up your room if it's that big of a deal?
Right.
If it's like,
I
but
just-
what I think happened was he saw a couple of things where like, oh, he watched some TikToks where the manly men are like, oh no, you gotta make your wife fall in line.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like the reason, because he says ever since she started making more money, she doesn't have a single respect for him. I wonder why.
Right.
You know, because he's over here, she's making twice as much as him,
Yeah.
probably working more
Yeah.
than him, and he's still expecting her to be a housewife.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Like he's expecting to just be able to kick back and relax on his feet while she does everything. And
Yeah.
not only the housework, but the breadwinner, but also like show him respect as a man when he can't step up and do the dishes because that's a woman's job.
Is there a time where you and Paul have to do stuff together?
What do you mean?
Clean up together, get something done together, housework.
It's not required. Like
But you do if you want your house to be in order.
we both share. I did a majority of it at the house because I was working part-time, but I purposely worked part-time so that I could do
Yeah.
full-time housework, cooking, cleaning, laundry, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But even when I was working part-time, like Paul would still pitch in. If I cooked dinner, he cleaned up.
Yeah.
If he cooked dinner, I cleaned up, you know, and help put away the food. And, you know, like laundry got piled up. So he's, you know, helping me out with a load or two on his day off. You know, like he was always doing
Yeah.
stuff that was really helpful.
Yeah, you've mowed the lawn.
Yeah,
That's a man
yeah,
thing.
right.
While he's building the fire pit out back, you're mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Doing all sorts of stuff. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's a shared thing. And I think this guy, we don't have as much information. There's probably a lot of other areas she doesn't respect him in, which I get, but he didn't say that. So I'm getting him about what he did say was like, my wife won't fall in line.
Yeah.
She won't clean. She doesn't respect me because she makes more money. I get why that would piss you off. People were like, well, I make more than you. I know more than you.
Yeah.
That's annoying. I get that. Okay. But at the same time, this is probably just a symptom of a bigger issue, but I'm going to focus on the one that you said. And that is like, you need to come up with a better way to communicate, hey, we need to do stuff together. And maybe it's worse than that. You have to come to a decision in your mind that the housework isn't a her thing or a me thing. It's an everybody thing. It's a collective effort. When someone's slacking in an area, I have to pick up the slack a bit or something like that. You have to come to that conclusion in your head first, that the housework isn't just a her or him thing. It's an us thing.
Yeah.
And if you can't, if you're both working full time, maybe that's the issue. Then hire a maid.
Right.
If it's that big of a deal.
Or take some time. Yeah. Have the dude that's making half as much take, part-time work instead.
Yeah.
And even if he works half as much, they're still making $500,000 a year, a little more actually. And so But even if you're looking at it, let's take it to a smaller perspective. Let's not use those big numbers. Let's say she's making 70 and he's making 40. You're not making enough to where both of y'all can cut back or something like that, So let's use more realistic numbers. She's making 70, he's making 40. You're not making enough to take some time off. Let's say you're both working equal amount of hours. Split it up.
Yeah.
Like figure out what works. And more than likely you have 2 off days. Me and Paul right now, we both only have 1 off day, and we're figuring out how to get stuff done, whether it's before he leaves for work, whether it's when I get home from work, whether it's on our off day together.
Yeah, is it an off day together or no?
Yeah, Sundays.
Okay. Well, that's good then.
And then, of course, the random days that my kids call in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if I buy this story. This might be like just me in general, but like I never really think too hard about stories on the internet like this. For instance, I would say, yes, there are people who would probably like agree with this guy if it's even real.
Yeah.
But also the majority of people probably wouldn't agree with this guy.
Right.
You'd
be surprised.
Majority?
On this group?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm talking about
real life.
Yes, of real life majority.
Realistic people.
Yeah. I want to find a story where it's like kind of 50-50, like a little bit more difficult to open up and dissect, because like this guy, whether he be like a weirdo or a creep or whatever, however many people you talk about, like I would say most majority of people who to look at this group from an outside perspective would be like, yeah, that's weird. But like something that's like more split, I don't know.
Just you wait, Shaps.
Oh, I'm waiting. Yeah. Definitely.
Maybe sometimes where it can't be 50-50.
I want to be on someone's side. That's why. But he's making it so hard for me to make it, because I love making arguments for people who are like not unredeemable. So I'm just like, but I can't with this guy. Bro. He's not giving me anything to work with.
That could be a good sign to move on to the next screenshot.
That's our whole show, though. Is like there's the person that posts is always the dumb one, and it's like I can't fight for you, sir. Make it hard to support what you're trying to.
If he gives me his story, I can rewrite it. I can re-edit it for him, and then we can make a solid argument. I think.
There we go.
Absolutely.
We're gonna plant some evidence on it.
How would you rewrite this in a way to where you could defend him?
Okay, Let's
give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I would probably scale down the money.
Like what I did, 70-40.
Let's scale down the money so that people don't think that he's just like privileged, you know? Let's make it like 60,000 versus 70,000 or 80,000, or right. And then, because then it's a little bit more reasonable, because it's like it's
realistic, it's tangible.
Exactly. And the woman's making just a little bit more, and now she doesn't want to do anything. Right. And making him look more like a charming, like light white knight, like he tries to talk with his wife, but she doesn't want anything to do with him because she's got too much to do, too much work to do, See, already there's conflict there. There's already another story there.
You know what? That changes my advice to hire a maid.
Yeah.
With that perspective, hire a maid.
So what do you think about when the person said, as more men keep supporting their wives to be better than them, the more we'll be seeing broken homes?
Yeah, that just sounds like...
It's sexist is what it is.
Well, it's, obviously.
Every time the woman tries to leave the kitchen, we just lose our rights as men. That's what he's saying.
It's just like, I don't give these people the time of day or any thought, because I'm like, they're so small.
Yeah.
Like they're in such a small bubble, especially like wealthy people. They get in their very tight knit communities, and usually they share a brain cell. It's like
they just pass it around.
Collectively, they share. Like it's really weird how they do it. And like opposed to like people in the middle class, we're just such a diverse amount, of like opinions and ideas and ideology. So to me, it's very boring when it's just like this rich dude who has like nothing to complain about. So he's like, my wife didn't make cookies just the way I wanted because she had too much work to do. Unbelievable. What's this world coming to? I'm just like, whatever.
Right.
Like,
Our triplets started crying in the other room, and she left the kitchen to go console them.
It's like, it's so,
hell, man.
It's very easy to pick on. I want a challenge, I want a challenge.
You got a challenging one,
if
Darcy?
you find a challenging one.
We got about 13 minutes left.
Okay, so I mean, this one. Okay, I already had this one pre-picked.
Better quit huffing
but
that on camera.
I didn't.
All right, good.
I was just holding it.
Just want to touch it. Let me see it.
I just like to look at it.
Yeah.
I like to see other people smoke it.
yeah.
Wow, that's good. It's a good image.
All right. So this was an anonymous participant.
Ooh.
We call them Anon.
Anon?
Yes.
Anons.
My wife says she wants a divorce.
Cut.
Well, these women.
You can't say the D
right?
word.
So he said, I went to a bachelor party at a strip club and got a lap dance. I have never been to one before, and she gave me permission to go. I guess I cheated on her for that. I did not touch the stripper, just sat back and watched like everyone else. I don't know what to say. I've said sorry a million times in a million ways.
Okay.
Is that a more challenging one?
That's a little bit more challenging.
That's kind of what you were talking about?
Yeah, definitely. Now, obviously, I would love it if both of them, then they're never going to give both their sides, but like that's a little bit more.
We have seen it before.
Really?
We
Okay.
have seen
you
it
gotta
before.
listen to the
Those
show,
are
dog. These are
But like, okay, so for this
spicy.
one, goes to strip club. He puts a lot of details in there
Yeah.
that are interesting.
Yeah.
So the wife's okay with it. She probably wasn't okay with a lap dance.
Right.
And he probably had to convince her.
Yeah.
He probably had to
Right.
do a lot of convincing and begging. Please.
Babe,
All
it's
the
a
guys
bachelor
are, all the guys are
party.
going yada yada.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what happened.
Right.
Now, it's to me, if she actually agreed with this, maybe a little bit on her for agreeing to it.
Right.
Just a little bit. Like, you got to know
She should have
kind of
not
what goes
said
on there.
it was fine
Yeah,
if
if
it's
you
not
had a
fine.
problem with it, if you really thought, which is a legitimate concern,
Yeah.
if you're actually concerned about that, no problem. Like, that's
Right.
fine. But then to like cave into it and then get upset
Yeah.
about it later for what
Right.
happens there, it's like
Yeah.
you kind of knew what was to expect.
Right.
Now he's
Yeah.
still dumb. Like
Yeah.
I just
Like,
Yeah.
you should have
he's still
known
dumb.
it
I'm
wasn't
pretty
okay.
yeah, exactly. But at the same time, like if that's what they're, some marriages are like that. Some
Yeah.
marriages will be more open like that. Like it doesn't bother them, whatever. And I've known a bunch of Christian bachelor parties where like you like, really? Like,
Yeah.
they went really far.
right.
It is what it is, right?
Right.
But like, yeah, I would say that's like a probably 60-40 blame ratio, more so on her.
I'm
But
gonna put 60 on her. I'm gonna put 80
Yeah.
on her. To be honest with you,
really,
Yeah.
Now-
yeah, I want to be fair, just because of the lack of knowledge. But yeah,
I don't do fairness on this one. If she now, again, maybe there's more to it.
yeah.
Maybe he said, please, please, please. She said no 8 times, and then he
What's
got
taking it down for me is that from his perspective.
Yeah.
And I know he's leaving stuff out.
Right.
So that's why it's more 60
right,
for me.
and that's the thing. So it's like, so maybe she was like, he was like, please, 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 no,
Right,
and then
right.
she was like,
got pressured into it.
Yeah.
if she went, yes, that's as your cue as a man means she's not cool with it.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's a fine,
Right.
don't do it.
You can't just keep begging and after getting 50 no's and
Yeah.
1 yes, be like, oh, that's the green light. That's the go ahead.
Now, if she said yes, and laid the ground rules, and you followed those ground rules, and she's still mad at you, that's on her.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty
and-
much 100%.
And here's the thing: if he didn't do any touching, I've heard people say this, like that. You can go, but you can't touch them.
Yeah.
If that's the rule, or maybe she didn't lay that. He didn't say she laid that as a rule, but that's a big one. That's a big separation. You didn't do any touching.
I also doubt even if he did, he would tell her. So more likely, it probably someone else that told her. That this all this went down. Then she got upset.
I actually think here's what women do. They will sit you down and ask you questions.
Yeah.
She'll be like, okay, so
How was it?
how was it?
What'd you do?
Yeah. Did you touch? Okay, so she touched you, but you didn't touch her. Like they get. Oh, let
Yeah.
me tell you.
Yeah.
They're Sherlock Holmes when it comes to that. And I don't mean they do investigative work. They just know the questions to
Yeah.
ask to make themselves feel better.
No.
So she asked him, and he's like, "No, I didn't touch them, but you got a lap dance.
Yeah.
I want a divorce." Like, that's on
Right.
her.
That's such an
Now,
extreme.
I was about to say, I forgot that bit at
jump
the very
to-
beginning. A
yeah.
divorce?
Yeah.
That either something more happened that he's not saying, or she's just like kind of crazy.
Right. Like either he slept with the stripper or Or she was looking for an out.
Yeah.
Or,
Again, we don't even know the rest of their marriage, but like,
Right.
yeah, that's a good one.
Like maybe she did say yes, like being okay, like, yeah, go have fun. And then like she was looking for an out and she was like, oh, you got a lap dance? Okay, divorce.
I bet she made $400,000 a year.
I'm going to be honest, that's going to be 50-50. The detail, the divorce, it could be she just wanted a way out. She said yes, but she really wasn't cool with it. Now she's blaming him.
Right.
Or he's lying. That's going to be 50-50 whose fault it is. But just based on his side, I'm going to put it on her.
Right.
Yeah. Overall, I'm saying 60-40.
Sure. And that's you. That's you being generous.
Yeah.
You're a generous man. I'm going solely based on the testimony of the defendant here.
Right. She chose not to speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is it if you're not there to testify, you're assumed guilty or something like that?
Right.
Or
innocent till proven guilty.
Yeah.
I'm going to go based on his testimony. If
God,
that's
I wish we didn't. If we lived under your jurisdiction.
Yeah. if that's what happened, then it's her fault. But maybe there's more. But sometimes it couldn't be. Sometimes it's not. There isn't more. Maybe that's all there was.
I'm pre-accumulating just like the fault that he's not putting in there.
Yeah.
But I'm actually interested to know what other people did. There's comments to that one.
Yeah. So somebody said, why even go to something like that as a married man? That was the mistake.
That's what I expected.
Yeah. And then somebody else said, she shouldn't have let you go then.
Yep.
If she was going to have a problem, that's what a bachelor party is. And as long as you didn't touch or pushed for more, then you didn't.
And you asked for permission. If that's true, you asked for permission, then yeah.
Absolutely.
And then someone else said, to me personally, that is stupid for her to say she wants a divorce over a lap dance. What did she expect would happen at a bachelor party?
Yeah.
Have you ever broken her trust before that would have her this insecure over a lap dance?
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's childish if she's throwing around the divorce word just because she's upset.
Yeah.
So this one makes a good point.
Yeah.
Like, what if she's this butthurt over a simple lap dance at a strip club you got permission to go to?
Yeah.
What have you done in the past to make her this insecure?
Very fair question.
I don't know if that could be the case because she allowed him to go.
Right.
You know, I feel like if there was a lot of trust issues, she wouldn't have said
just
yes.
Stuck to her ground.
So yeah, it's a good point, but I don't think that's what happened.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't have her side of the story. I'm willing to bet it's way wordier.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet there's some brick paragraphs in there if she were to chime in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Steph has my favorite advice though.
yeah. What did she say?
said-
Oh, you missed one. Okay.
Buy her a lap dance.
Even it out. I like it. Okay.
I said I didn't have to say any more.
And she gets to touch all she wants. And then it's even. It's even.
So here's the thing. I'm not an advocate for open relationships. It's not don't listen to this and think I'm supporting it.
Yeah.
Okay. But most of those people have rules
Yeah.
that they have to follow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you can do this and this and that, but no kissing, no,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Or I pick the woman or something like that. Yeah.
You know, and if this was a thing that she agreed to, future reference, you might want to make better ground rules.
Actually, he said something interesting. Now, think about it. He said, I guess I'm cheating now. Either he's saying that sarcastically or she told him you're cheating and trying to gaslight him into thinking that he cheated.
Yeah, because after he goes on, he said, I guess I cheated on her for that. But then, you know,
I think
said
he's
how
just,
he didn't touch the stripper.
I think he's regurgitating what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I do that with my fiance all the time. I guess that means I'm doing this now.
Well, that's the thing. It could be either way. It could be like, I don't know what the tone of that particular line is, but she probably most definitely was like, you absolutely cheated on me, you son of a gun.
I think he's regurgitating what something she said. I don't think it has anything to do with his opinion.
Right.
So.
Yeah. He actually meant it literally. Now he's with the stripper.
Yeah.
So he guesses.
I guess that.
Yeah, I guess
means
I'm cheating now.
He's in bed typing this up.
Yeah.
What do you think, honey? You were there.
Maybe you should set up a thing where.
What if the wife was the stripper and she surprised him? She's like, ha ha.
Now that's a detail we needed on.
She had a mask, and she's like doing the lap dance, and then he's sitting there enjoying it.
Would.
And she pulls off the mask like in Scooby Doo with the villains. She's like, I
would have gotten away with it too. He wasn't for my wife.
He's like, don't stop.
Yeah.
I've never seen you this way, babe.
I knew it was you the whole time. You had the freckle above your left butt cheek, obviously.
He would be able to know right off the gate.
Yeah.
Be like, just a second.
Yeah. If you're married with someone and your wife walks out and like even if her whole face is covered, like you'd know your wife's body.
But this does bring up a good point or just a good like topic. Good topic. I've been surprised because I actually was talking to a bunch of people about this recently, who are Christians who went to Christian bachelor parties. Yeah. And like they go so crazy, like not just strippers, but like really weird and crazy.
Yeah.
And like still predominantly proudly Christian or whatever. That's why I don't throwing the title around all the way back full circle.
It doesn't mean as much as it used to.
Don't throw the title around because like you were saying earlier, it just drags everyone else through the mud. Again, you can do what you want. I'm not saying you can't, but like for the faith that we follow, it's very important that there are certain lifestyles that we live by. And if we see other people who are proudly going a different way, but then keeping the name attached, keeping the label, it's not worth it. Right. Just toss the label and then live how you want if that's what you want.
I had to be so specific for my bachelorette party. Mm-hmm. But, okay, so my best friend, she's not Christian.
Yeah.
And so I was very specific with her. I was like, no strippers.
Yeah.
None. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing like that. Like we can get
You had to.
We can get funny shaped foods to eat.
I know what she means by that.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Somebody explain it to me.
Do explain. Could you like show us what it looks like?
Yeah.
Draw a circle. Oh my god.
That was whoa.
And that's all the time we have for today.
I'm traumatized.
All right, finish your story, and then we're gonna have to end it.
Very specific,
but
very phallic.
Yeah.
No longer.
And I remember her being upset, like, what? That's like what the bachelor party for? No, not if you're a Christian, or at least you're not supposed to.
That's not
and
the
like, and that's not the only decider either. In
just
general,
say it's not for me.
In general,
like legitimately,
yeah.
Because here's the thing: everyone's gonna think Christian means one thing, but like, let's say that's not something I want.
Yeah,
that's not something my husband wants. Like that's something we want, and you can't really refute that because then. Like that's just someone's opinion. That's someone's personal values.
Because everybody wants to. I was making this point the other day. Everybody's like, "Oh, my last night of freedom." No, your last night of freedom was the day you asked her out.
Yeah.
Not the day before you get married.
Gosh,
you
what have you
gave
done
away.
Since then?
Yeah, right. Your last day of freedom was when y'all became an official couple. End of story.
I have a lot more questions to ask.
Unless she's fine with it.
But I know we're out of time. But there's some more questions I kind of want to get on. But maybe for another time.
Yeah, we got other at night episodes to shoot. Mm-hmm. But guys, with that, we are out of time for today. Thank you for joining us this week on the Third Wheel Podcast at Night. Thank you, Sheps, for hopping on today. Thank you for being very flexible with our schedules. Darcy, thanks for making today work. I hope we can shoot some more here pretty soon. Guys,
gotta get to bed.
Guys, I'm hopeful for the future, the growth of this channel. I'm excited for what's to come.
That was really, really on, actually.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.
See you guys.
Love you guys.
Do you say love you guys?
Yeah, I do.